This video will cover Chapter 11. Chapter 11 is entitled The IT Professional. Mainly what this chapter is all about is using good communication skills and offering good customer service to the people that we're helping troubleshoot their problems. I have a little video that I like to show in class. It's an older video, but it gives us an idea of who's perceived to have good customer service out there and who's perceived to have bad customer service. Let's go ahead and take a look.
So when it comes to giving you good customer service, some companies are champs and some are chumps. Tonight, News 5's Michelle Hopkins takes a look at a brand new survey that ranks the best and the worst and which companies should maybe try to avoid. Michelle?
Yeah, they're all companies you know and deal with every day, like Walmart, Starbucks, and Sprint. From how they treat you on the phone to how they handle your problems, where they rank, and what you can do. Getting high marks for customer service in the top 10, UPS. Those who let Brown do the shipping say customer service is good. Same for Lexus and Starbucks, the Cadillac of coffee.
I see consistent service, so I can count on it. The coffee tastes the same everywhere I go.
Treating everybody with respect, just being nice to everybody and treating everybody like they're the number one customer, really.
Also in the top 10 in good customer service, Nordstrom's, coming to Cincinnati Kenwood Town Center in the fall of 2009. And now to those companies, customers rank at the bottom of the barrel for customer service. A big surprise here, the nation's biggest retailer, Walmart.
So I think the bigger the bureaucracy, sometimes the worse customer service.
Also ranking in the bottom for customer service, Sprint Nextel and Time Warner Cable. DirecTV ranked the worst. Experts say too many of these companies try to do too much.
And they typically try to be everything to everybody, and that's very hard to do and provide very good service.
Many of those companies at the bottom of the list also set up call centers. They're intended to help customers, but
what typically happens is that people end up being caught in what we call a maze, where you can't figure out who the right person is to help you.
And how often has that happened to all of us? Here's what you can do if you're dissatisfied with the customer service that you're getting. Ask to speak to a supervisor. You want to document the call, jot down a ticket number or an associate's name. They also want to hear the good things, too. For a complete list of the best and worst companies for customer service, log on to WLWT.com and click on News 5 links. Kind of interesting. Michelle Hopkins, News 5, where the news comes first.
So maybe there were some surprises in that video, and maybe there wasn't for you. They said DirecTV has been rated the worst as far as customer service. You can tell over the last 5 years or so that they've really tried to change that image. You can tell by their advertisements and their commercials on TV that they're really trying to change that image of having poor customer service. It says that troubleshooting is as much about communicating with the customer as it is about knowing how to fix a computer. You can have the best technical skills in the world and know how to fix a computer very easily. But if you can't communicate with the customer, they're going to have a poor experience, and you might not even be able to figure out or get started with the troubleshooting process. So like it says, troubleshooting is as much about communicating with that customer as it is about knowing how to fix a computer. We want to be able to ask the right questions. We want to be able to talk to our customers, determine what the problem is, hear what their needs are, and then go from there. We want to learn to use good communication skills as confidently as we use a screwdriver. It's easy for anyone to pick up a screwdriver and put a screw in to a case of a computer. That's just second nature to us. But sometimes it can be hard to talk to customers and get an idea of what's going wrong. So we want to try to make communication skills and customer service second nature to us. A knowledgeable technician who uses good communication skills is always going to be in demand in the job market. When we're working with somebody that has a problem, we want to try to establish a good rapport with them. Relaxed customers that feel at ease, are going to be better able to explain the details of their problem. They're not going to feel intimidated, and they're going to have a better overall experience. Through communicating with the customer, you should get a good idea of what the problem is and how you can go about fixing it. But just note that if after communicating with the customer, if you still can't quite figure out their problem, you do have several tools available to you. And we'll talk about some of those tools coming up. But a quick list would be knowledge bases, search engines, and manufacturers' websites. If you have good professionalism and good communication skills, you're going to enhance your credibility with the customer. Successful technicians are able to control their own reactions and emotions from one customer call to the next. This is sometimes hard to do. If you're working in a high volume call situation, one customer calls you and it's a frustrating situation. When the next customer calls you, it's hard not to bring over that emotion into the next call. But if you're able to do that, you'll be a lot more successful. And again, the people are going to have a lot better overall experience and better customer service because you're able to control your emotions. When you're talking and communicating with the customer, you want to try to determine the problem. They use 3 main points here: know, relate, and understand. We want to call the customer by name. We want to try to relate to them by using brief communication to create a one-on-one connection. And sometimes that can be hard to do in a short call. But if you're able to do that, that can go a long ways. We want to try to understand, determine what the customer knows about the computer to effectively communicate with the customer. We want to try to get an idea of what they know about computers. Are they skilled? Are they introductory? Are they beginners? Depending on their level of expertise, we may or may not get a whole lot of information about them. When working with someone on the phone, you may have to put them on hold or you may have to transfer them. Just a few notes about putting them on hold or transferring them is you want to let the customer finish speaking in any situation. You don't just want to hit the hold button and leave them talking to no one. Explain to them why you're putting them on hold or who you're transferring them to and why you're transferring them to. Ask for their permission to do so. This just kind of gives the sense that the customer is in control here. And explain to them how long they will be on hold and what you'll be doing during that time. And if you tell them they'll be on hold for 5 minutes and you're still working on the problem after 5 minutes, just check on them real quick and let them know you're still working on the problem. If you are transferring them to somebody, let them know who you're transferring them to and what the number is that you're transferring them to. A lot of times calls can get cut off during that transferring procedure. Here's another video I like to show in class. It's from a comedian named Wes Borg, and he is the internet help desk. Notice how he puts people on hold, which we just talked about. We don't exactly want to do. We won't watch the whole thing here, but just the first few minutes.
Yeah, hi. Look, I'm supposed to show you the ropes, I guess, so welcome. Internet help desk. It's a tough gig. Yeah. No, I figure you got 4 basic essential services in our society. You got your police, your fire, your ambulance, internet help desk. You know, air traffic controllers claim they have the most stressful job. Ha! But I'll tell you, man, there is nothing that beats the adrenaline buzz of configuring some idiot's ADSL modem, even though he's running Windows 3.1 on a 386 with 4 megs of RAM, man. Just a second. Thank you for calling the Internet Help Desk. One of our trained technicians will be with you shortly. Please hold. Okay, so that's the first thing. The hold button is your best friend, okay? It is your savior, it is your teddy bear, and it is your mama's teeth all rolled up into one. Always put the customer on hold right off the bat. Shows them who's boss. Thank you for holding. Your call is very important to us. Please hold. Take some of the fight out of them, you know? Which is important, because when they start telling you they don't know how to use a mouse or that they've been putting their coffee cup in their CD-ROM tray, and they start to realize what an idiot they are going to be venting all over you, my friend. Don't worry. I'm here. I'm a vet. I'm a pro. Hell, I've been here 8 months. Okay, thank you for holding. My name's Wes. How can I help you? You can't get your email. Ooh, that does sound serious. Okay, well, can you be more specific? You can't. Okay, please hold. Thanks for holding. Okay, I'm going to need to find out if you're running Microsoft Outlook Express or Netscape Communicator. No, you don't. Okay, well, look in the top right corner of your screen. Do you see a big blue E or a big green N? Big black nothing. Okay. Well, I'm really sorry. That's totally my fault. Okay, what you're going to need to do, now listen to me very carefully. You're going to have to turn your computer on. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'll wait. Thanks. You know, I do feel sorry for them. I really do. I mean, these people, they don't know how to get on the internet. They don't know why they want to be on the internet. They don't even know what the internet is. But, you know, they want to be on it. So they head down to Future Shop. They buy the most overpriced piece of crap the salesman can soak them for. They bring it home, turn it on, and boom, they're crash landed in the middle of a dark technology continent with only me as their guide. I could tell them to blow smoke up their USB ports and they'd do it. Hey.
So not exactly what we want to do with our customers as far as putting them on hold. As you deal with customers, whether it's on the phone or face-to-face, you're going to notice that you're going to deal with many different types of customers. We have the talkative customer, the rude customer, the angry customer, a knowledgeable customer, and an inexperienced customer. And each one of these types of people you probably want to deal with a little bit differently. I won't go through each one of these individually, but for example, if you're going to be working with an inexperienced customer, you probably want to use a lot of step-by-step procedures, use basic, brief terms, and walk them through anything that you can. That would be a little bit different than working with a knowledgeable customer. With a knowledgeable customer, you probably don't need step-by-step directions. You probably don't need to use basic terms. You can probably be more specific, like saying, open up the control panel and go to the network connections. With an inexperienced customer, you'd probably have to say, click on the start menu, find the control panel, sort it by category view, go to the ends for network connection, be a little bit more step-by-step like that. So as you read through these, ask yourself, how would you handle each one of these different types of customers? I have another little video that I like to show in class. It's an old Nintendo training video. And the guy that's helping the customer has to deal with different types of customers out there.
You work hard. You do a good job. You're nice to your customers. Why then must you suffer the headache of returns?
Excuse me, I'd like to return this Nintendo. Who do I talk to about that?
Tell you what, you'll need to go right back there to the electronics area and they'd be happy to help you.
Oh, gosh, you know, I haven't really got a lot of time. Could you take care of it here,
I'd
please?
love to, but I can't. I need to send you to electronics right back there. They'd be happy to help you.
All right, thank you.
Hi there. What can I do for you?
Customer service sent me over to talk to you, to give this to you. If you take a look at it, I don't know what's the matter with it. It was working, and now it's not working, so I'd appreciate if you, take a look at it. I'd like to get an exchange for it if I could.
An exchange?
Yes, sir.
Do you have... Well, I guess I'd better take a look at it.
Why don't you take a look at it?
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you.
Do you know what's on here?
No. I mean, the kids couldn't have done anything. I mean, they're good kids.
Sometimes they'll put soft drink or something on there. And...
No. It's not soda pop. I don't know.
Certainly.
It was fine. I would just... I'd appreciate it if I had an exchange on it. I have an appointment I got to get going.
You know, I'd really like to help you out here, but I don't... an exchange...
Listen, you guys have been great in the past, and you've always taken care of me, and I'd appreciate an exchange.
But, the warranty does specify that you have to keep it really clean, because it doesn't work if it gets dirty.
Some people will go to great lengths to return an abused or an out-of-warranty piece of merchandise. What are you supposed to do? Tell them what you really think? Of course you can't do that. And how about the customer who tries to bully you into taking back something you know isn't broken? These guys are a real problem.
You people amaze me. You really amaze me. Your quality control people, they just have bats in the belfry. Bought this Game Boy yesterday, took it home, nothing. Absolutely nothing. No picture. I'm pretty sure it's the EEPROM, so if you just want to take a look at that, I'd fix it myself, but I don't really have the tools, so I'll take my money back if you...
I'm sorry you had a problem. There's nothing at all, huh?
Nope.
Well, let's see.
EEPROM.
Power on. Battery looks okay. Here's the tone. And give it a moment, and... Got the music. Here we go. I think this is probably the problem. Yeah. Just needed to turn up the contrast a bit. How's that look?
Oh. Of course, the contrast. I think that was probably my kid didn't... I'll take it. I'll take it.
You'll take it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about the nice guys who actually have a legitimate problem? In many ways, they're the toughest of all to take care
To
of.
bother you. The controller doesn't work.
Oh.
There's a picture, but there's no action. Probably I didn't read the instructions right.
I'll just take a look here and see how it works.
I didn't want to have to bring it in, but I just couldn't get it to work. And
There you go. It's working now.
Oh, look, sweetie, it's working. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I'm
Now
so
tell me, when
sorry.
you plugged it in, did you put it into port number 1 or port number 2?
I put it in port number 2.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, plug it into number 1. Because if you put it into number 2, it won't work.
Oh, I can't believe
That's
it.
a simple mistake.
I'm sorry, honey. It was really something.
It's easy to see that all customers are not the same. But no matter what size or shape they come in, and no matter what kind of products they're bringing back, they all have one thing in common. They feel they have a problem. Now,
So you can see here how we dealt with many different types of customers, and as they said at the end, they all have one thing in common. They think they have a problem, and it's going to be our job to help troubleshoot that problem and communicate with them and offer them the best customer service that we can. The chapter also gets into netiquette. Netiquette is a term on how we should act and behave when we're using electronic communication, whether that's chatting, emailing, or posting to a message board. Just to point out a few things here, I won't go through all of them. We always want to use capitalization and punctuation whenever possible. It's very easy to do that, to not do that when we are typing up an email or chatting. But sometimes you get the great wall of text where it's a big, huge, long string of characters. There's hardly any punctuation or spaces or anything in there, and that makes it really hard to read. Know that everything that you put out on the internet, it's always going to be there forever. If you post something on Twitter, post something on Facebook, write an email message, even if you go on there and delete it, that's backed up on a server somewhere. So that can always come back to bite you. What I always tell people is if you wouldn't say it to someone's face, you probably don't want to type it up in an email or chat or other form of electronic communication. You'll find yourself working at a desk a lot of times in the IT field. Not always, but many of your hours may be spent in front of a computer screen. So the chapter gets into workstation ergonomics. You want to make sure that your desk layout works well for you. This can avoid things like back pain and allow a more comfortable, relaxed working environment for you. A lot of customers are putting their trust in you when you're working on their computers because you do have access to a lot of their personal things. They could have emails open, they could have contact lists and phone lists saved on their hard drive. So before you access anything on the computer, you want to ask for their permission. If something's up and open, try not to look at it or just minimize it. Again, we want to try to respect the customer's personal privacy. I won't go through all of these, but this is a list here of things that are generally considered illegal. For example, it's not permissible to use a customer's company IT resources for commercial purposes. Taking a printer and sharing it out for everyone on the network is probably not going to be permissible because now we're offering it to unauthorized users. Read through the rest of these and just be careful with what you're doing with equipment that isn't yours. The chapter talks a little bit about computer forensics. Computer forensics is the collection and analysis of data from computer systems, networks, storage devices as part of a criminal investigation. On the previous slide, we showed some things that are considered illegal, but a lot of times with computer forensics, we're looking at identity theft, maybe using a computer to sell counterfeited goods, using pirated software, using a computer network to create or sell unauthorized copies of copyrighted material such as movies, books, or music, or things like child pornography. The two basic types of data that are going to be collected are persistent data and volatile data. Persistent data is stored on a local drive, and when the computer is turned off, the data is still preserved. Volatile data is going to be stored in your RAM and cache and will disappear when the computer is turned off. So if you're involved in a computer forensic collection of data, you want to grab that volatile data first because as soon as you turn off that computer, it's going to be gone. Many of the things that we've talked about so far with this PowerPoint have to do with working in a call center and working on the phone with customers. There are different types of call centers out there. Maybe there's a call center for an individual business, like for example the BSC help desk, or maybe it's on a larger scale, like something like a company like Sykes here in Bismarck that has multiple accounts. But usually it's going to be a very professional and fast-paced environment, high volume call situation where you're working with a variety of customers. In a call center situation, you probably have different levels of technicians. Usually the first contact are level 1 technicians, and at the level 1, and being a level 1 technician means you're going to have to get as much information as you can. Ask those open-ended and closed-ended questions. And here's a nice list of some things that you probably want to gather. If you're not able to fix the problem after asking your questions and gathering the information, you may have to elevate it to a level 2 technician. Usually a level 2 technician is a little bit more knowledgeable. They may have been working at the company for a longer period of time, so they have some more experience with the accounts that you're working with. A lot of times it's their job to call back the customer and ask any additional questions. But the point is that in a call center, usually there's different levels, and we can elevate to other levels if need be. So we talked at length about offering good customer service. We all want to strive to have good customer service, just like this old FedEx commercial.
Hi.
Hi.
I was marooned on an island for 5 years with this package, and I swore that I would deliver it to you because I work for FedEx.
That's very admirable. Thank you.
Hey, but by the way, what's in the package?
Nothing really. Just a satellite phone, GPS locator, fishing rod, water purifier, and some seeds. Just silly stuff. Thank you again. You keep up the good work.
So that's all for this video on Chapter 11. I invite you to read through the curriculum on this chapter to fill in any holes that this video does not cover. But thanks for watching.